Was he using yours?
What?
Was he using your handles?
No,
I
was unfortunately. Well,
he does have a long
probably
reach.
would have done better if he did that.
Was he holding on to your when you you couldn't move?
No, I was
trying to figure out how he
I was not good, but he was good. Okay. Go and play him sometime.
I'm not saying he's not good.
They have a foosball table.
It was in the back of the.
Episode 68 of the original Father-Son voiceover podcast.
This is going to sound weird, but for some reason, the first 50 felt like it was going by fast. Like we got to 50 real quick. Mm-hmm. And now we've been in the 60s, and I feel like we've been at episode 68 for about a month. And that doesn't make any sense.
I wonder if what you're doing is you're empathizing with our viewers, as they're saying. It seems like
they talk about it being the long haul, and this is the longest haul.
It seems like this has been going on. How many have I watched? 68.
It's like one of those things you can't turn away from. You just keep watching it. You're like,
it's like a car accident. You can't turn away from it. Yeah.
It's an hour and a half car accident.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you've joined us for our 68th episode.
If you haven't fallen asleep yet.
And we're not going to highlight what we have coming up because we did that in our commercial. And on the backside of this intro, we'll probably talk about it.
We probably will. Right? You definitely will.
I want to highlight that. I like doing that.
Yeah, Johnny and the boys will be here. Johnny, Joe, and Drew will be here. Couch Potatoes, we haven't said that in a long time. They'll be on the...
Roy's going to be here, too.
Is he?
I mean, with his adventures.
Yeah, that's true.
Now we're starting to highlight it.
Now you're highlighting stuff. Stop it.
I've broken the rules.
Anyway, I don't think there's much more to say. I will be posting, though, about the T-shirt, making sure we're going to give him one more week because I dropped the ball again. Hal Hamblin, if you're watching, you are a winner.
Get a T-shirt.
You got a week to claim another week to claim it, and we will get your order and everything like that sent out to you. So, if not, we'll move on to the next one, and no hard feelings. So,
do we have some names?
We totally do.
Of people that are waiting in line, anxiously waiting in line for a T-shirt.
They have subscribed. I don't know if they know what comes with subscribing. So, anyway, we're gonna jump into episode 68. We'll see you on the flip side.
Hey, this is Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. And this is the original Father-Son voiceover podcast.
Can you throw me my counter there? Where'd it go? Oh, no.
This is like people are thinking it's Groundhog's Day, the movie, because this happens every time.
Where did oh, there it is. Got to start the timer. I purchased this a long time ago so we'd stay on time. Todd Barsness and the Barsness Boys here for the original Father-Son voiceover podcast. Before I introduce the group here, as I always do, one of the things I always told the boys, it was a favorite quote that I made up when you guys were growing up. Was
favorite quote of yourselves?
Huh?
Of yourselves?
Yeah.
His favorite quote.
One of the quotes that I often told you boys as you were little tykes on my knee. I said, remember, tenacity always outdoes talent. Tenacity. Oh, remember that when you guys were little? Me saying that all the time.
Told way more than others.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any talent.
But here we are, proving it again. Episode 68.
We've got tenacity
outlasts talent every time. Because here we are.
That should be our podcast. Tenacity over talent.
Yeah. Because everybody that watches regularly knows there's not much talent here in this circle. But here we are, 68 deep. 68 deep. And Drew's to my right. Drew is he's going to have the week off as far as bringing something, presenting something.
He's had a real tough week.
And that helps because what that does is that lets his mind be free to just create, to vamp, to improv is that's one of your strengths, improv. Joe is at Information Central.
That's not one of his strengths.
Does he have another new shirt on? That's a Wisconsin Heights shirt.
The Wisconsin Heights Hustle.
Is that this year?
May 5th.
Yep.
Did you do that?
I did not do it. I volunteered in it.
The rule is
Did
you
you
can't
run
wear
it?
it if you didn't do it.
Did you run it?
No, but I could have.
Okay.
With that,
Well, no, but did you run
with
it?
one arm tied behind my back and a leg.
Yeah.
How long was it? How long was the
I
run?
think it was 5
4K?
miles.
Oh, 5 miles.
5 miles.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe 3. I don't know.
So
The Wolf Run Trail.
Yeah, Wolf Run
I
Trail.
don't
Yep.
think that goes 5 miles, does it?
It does if you go
Well, I
one
think
way and then you come
they
back.
extend it just a little bit
Oh, okay.
past, like down to the
Why would you run?
You have to run in place for just
Why
a
would
little
you
flag or
Why
something.
would you
Wow.
run, Drew? Why would you run the Wolf Run Trail and then just stop at one spot?
Well, that's what they do with the depot to depot.
depot.
Okay.
You don't run back to Black Earth after it.
you
Do
remember?
they do that anymore, or no? Is it depot to depot?
I don't think so, but you remember the depot to depot? They have these guys like from Wisconsin come out, these really good runners.
Well, a lot of them are from Wisconsin. Oh, Madison.
Madison,
Madison.
Wisconsin. You know Madison.
A lot of
And they
runners
would
from Wisconsin.
and they would run and win, and then they would jog back 5 miles. Jog back 5
down.
miles.
Cool down.
Just to cool down.
Yeah.
Hudson is our executive producer, as always. He calls the shots. He seems to be a really easygoing guy, but I'll tell you, boom, things are done
Mondays and
his way
Tuesdays.
or the highway.
This is the deal. Is I have to help do the editing and stuff like that, and so these guys come up here and they help out, and it's great. But Dad sometimes tries to push the limits, and then I'm stuck with trying to make it work. So there it is.
But that's
There's
why
our
you're
one
the
dig.
executive producer,
Yeah.
handling the talent. And John is producing the program today.
Yep.
Episode 68. What do we got on tap? We said we were going to highlight some of the things. Here's Brando.
We've got Joe's bringing his stuff, Wisconsin Heights Weekly. John's bringing Mazo Mani Sitewise, amended by Todd. We've got I would think we'd have the Mazo Mustangs Minute today.
Yeah, big news.
We got Roy from Elroy. And then we've got Jim Schroeder, 25th year anniversary of the Mazo Mani Music Conservancy. And then we've got Name That Country. Wow. So that's what we got for you today. So I don't know. Is there any other housekeeping things we're gonna
Housekeeping.
for Hal Hamblin? That shirt. We're gonna hold on to it for one more week, and I'm gonna post something because I dropped the ball.
You dropped the ball on me.
Baby, baby.
Last week, we had our Mazo organizations. And this is a little bit of a promotion for our Mazo Mani organizations. We had the Lion's Share, which is Mazo Mani Lions Club. Wendy Sherman was here. And right now, I'm just real time.
Ticker, our view
I'm,
ticker.
I'm checking. This is just 22 hours ago, and she's gotten 225 views. See, if you want to promote your organization, right here
Might
is
be a
where to
good
do it.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jim Schroeder, Callie Handel was here, and she was talking about Mazo Chamber Chat. She's got 178 views.
There you have it.
And Jim Schroeder, who represents the Mazo Mani Music Conservancy 158. So lots of people looking at those
I posted those. I think I posted those
Sequentially?
each. Yeah. I think I posted the Lion's Share first, then Chamber Chat, and then so that's why they're in
they're
that
growing
order.
in that
So,
order. But if you
yeah.
want to check those out, they're in What's Happening Mazo. I think most of them are on the
Yep, they
respective websites.
They're also on our YouTube channel, so if you're around here, you'll see them
that's
in
a
their
way
playlists.
to get your organization promoted. Boom.
There you have it. All right. Time for Mazo Mani, not Mazo Mani site-wise. Time for Wisconsin Heights Weekly.
Wisconsin Heights Weekly.
So, actually, we're just going to go right to the Mazo Mani Mustangs Minute. Next Thursday, August 3rd, 6:15 p.m. at Mazo.
Central Time.
Well, that's tomorrow
Field.
night.
Tomorrow night. Yep.
It's tomorrow night because this comes
Is the
out on
last
Wednesday.
is the last home last game, Thursday night edition for the Mazo Mustangs, and
Could
that
be our
that
last-
is
could
to
be our
make
last home game all for the whole year.
that is to
barring
make
any-
that is to make the playoffs.
All right.
Because there's a possibility we could
Thursday
if,
night,
If
yep.
a couple things go right, we could have a home game playoff game for Thursday night. Hudson.
Takes a win to make a thing go right.
Yep.
So
come out and enjoy the Mustangs.
and support us because
Yes.
we need all the support we can get.
Yep.
We've also got this already happened, but we had a playoff game. Wanakee.
Hopefully it went well.
Hopefully,
I don't
hopefully,
know.
hopefully we have another
know,
one
but
coming
we
up
don't
the
wanna
next
tell you.
week.
Yeah.
So
Can't tell
they
you.
have to come out
Hard to
2:30.
be in it.
Wanakee.
Or
Okay.
can't now.
Glad we saw you there.
Yeah, listen to it.
See what I did there?
Yeah. It
Then
was good to see those people there.
on so this will also have already happened, but Saturday and Sunday, the 29th and 30th of July is there was a swim team meet, which is a conference meet. So that's the whole kit and caboodle
That's
there.
the whole shooting match.
That's
All
the
the
whole
teams.
shooting match.
All the
They're
teams in the conference.
Confident and positive about it.
Yep. This is for all the marbles.
Yeah. It's too bad we don't know how they did.
No, we don't know, but we're gonna know. After the break.
fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, if you swim well enough and you're the top 16 in your event, and you go and you swim Sunday.
What's Sunday? Is that the sectionals or is that state?
I don't know what that is. That's just Sunday,
Okay, Sunday.
July 30th.
Like golf, you
So-
learn to play Sunday.
No, so
Make the cut.
that's what we're shooting for.
All right. There you
That
had it.
concludes
There
it.
was no Mazomanies, or there was no Wisconsin Heights Weekly.
Other
There
than
was
my
the-
nice shirt.
Yeah, that's true. And Joe
Well,
himself.
Is summer school done?
Yes,
When did that end?
Last week.
yes.
Will be 2 weeks now.
I talked about that last week. Were you not paying attention?
Were you there?
Will you bring us information about that big swim meet?
Yes.
Somehow you could get
Yep.
some info
I
about that.
will.
I think people would like to hear about that.
They're champing at
Yep.
the bit.
Give us the inside track on
Yep.
that. All right. I guess we're going to move right on over real quickly to Mazomania.
You mean Satwise?
Yeah.
Oh, let me say,
This Saturday at Iron Hop Tap House, live music featuring Gaines and Wagoner. It's a violin. I can't tell if it's a violin or fiddle.
Is it Wagoneer or Wagoner?
What's the difference between a violin
I'm
and a
not
fiddle?
so sure.
I think kind of the same thing.
Joe?
What's the difference between a violin? Just type that in.
I think it's the number of strings.
Maybe it has one less string.
The man plays
I wonder
the
if it's
fiddle or
also
violin, and the woman plays the bass.
Okay.
Oh, gut bass.
A violin and a fiddle are the same four-stringed instrument, generally played with a bow, strummed, or plucked.
Might just be a.
They are identical in their physical appearance. What distinguishes a violin from a fiddle is the style of music that is played on the instrument.
Yep, and
it's
the string.
all in how you play it.
Yep, and the string. Yep, this
I
one.
didn't know that. So a fiddle is just a violin, so you could get a Stradivarius and
Call it a
play
fiddle.
play country western music on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's taking place at Iron Hop Tap House at 7 to 9 this Saturday. Then I was reminded once again, I told you about this last week, but I heard it again I stayed home from the baseball game last night. This was the Mustangs Thursday night game. And heard live music again across the street at the Cruise Inn at Gordon's. Just remember that's happening all throughout the summer.
Well, maybe it was the
It
Aces.
was the same guy, I think.
Maybe Chuck.
I think it was the same guy
Might have been.
because I drove by and
Remembering Randy or remembering
I think it was
something like
because
that.
we
loud.
drove by on our
Packed.
way down, and it was the same guy as in the picture the week before.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So 5:30 to question mark
Encore. It was an encore performance.
every Thursday. Lastly, just an update on when Velocity 365 is looking to open.
What is Velocity 365, Jay?
It's the new fitness center that's going to be in what was the WIC buildings, like I don't know, what,
IT building.
IT build. Oh yeah, thank you. IT building right to the south of Kroger, to the
On your way to
west of.
Arena.
of Wick Buildings Corporate.
Can I see that pen?
Anyway, the owner, Shem Heiser,
Oh.
doesn't look like a guy you want to mess with.
Oh, wow.
Do you work out?
Yeah.
Did you ask him that?
Yeah, definitely a guy that looks like he would own a gym.
Excuse me? What I mean is, do you work out? You look good, healthy, I mean. Well,
He said that it looks to be. I think they thought it was going to happen in the beginning of August. They're now saying that mid-August had some setbacks, tentatively planning for that. So I will be watching to see if that changes or if they're able to hold to that. I mean, the big thing is around here is I don't think he wants this, and I don't think the people do. But the big thing is get it in probably by October or at the latest, maybe November before the snow flies or at least starts getting cooler.
I think part of the problem why it's delayed is because Mo and Larry, his brothers, are doing the construction.
Yeah. Yep.
They're doing the
Hope he doesn't
construction.
see
Yeah, I was gonna say we might
take five
we
of
might
us to
have
try to
him
work.
on at some point
Oh,
here.
yeah,
as an
good
interview.
idea.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
all I got for Mazo
Maney Sitewise.
site-wise.
Were the Three Stooges were they playing brothers or were they just kind of playing friends or something? Because I know that
I thought
Shem
they were
and
Howard.
Mo
There were two
actually-
Howard brothers.
Shem and Mo were
Yeah.
brothers,
Yeah.
but I just didn't know if Mo, Larry,
The other
and
one, the
Curly, or if they were just
curly-haired one
playing-
that was bald, that had the long, he was not a brother.
Okay.
Pretty
Mo, or
confident.
no, that was Shem.
Larry.
No,
Wait,
that
who's
was Larry. the
Shem
curly-haired.
and Mo were brothers.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
Howard
And they
brothers.
did kind of look alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got this sub, and we don't want to spend a lot of time because we were told in our pre-production meeting that especially toward me, stop being so creative, Dad, and making this such a good
much
podcast.
creativity.
Let's cut this down a little bit. They wanted to cut the podcast
We
down
gotta
a
let
bit.
some other people have views on YouTube.
Right. But we were going to have a segment called "Guess Who We Saw." Mm-hmm. So let me tell you, it's all going to tie together.
Let
This
me
is gonna
guess
be-
who you saw.
What?
Guess.
I can't guess.
Guess.
I can't guess.
Guess.
Okay.
Nah, go ahead.
Well, you should be thinking as I'm talking.
I know two people you saw today.
Okay, so
But I won't say it.
it's Wednesday. This is coming out on a Wednesday. Last Thursday, you boys played baseball against the Arena Aces, a home talent. Unfortunately, you lost. We can talk all about that if we wanted to, but we won't.
We don't live in the past.
And so,
live in losses. We don't live in losses.
my informant talking about the fitness place in Mazo, my informant Susie. I won't name any last names because I don't want her to become too popular.
No.
And
Mix
have
it
the
up,
problems
fitness,
we have going
regular.
places. She was a regular. We would not work out together, but we were down there at the same time, and she'd always turn on the Price is Right. So when I'm running down at the Mazo Mix It Up Fitness, she's doing the stepper and riding the bike, all sorts of stuff. And anyway, she was at the ball game. She's from the Arena area.
Oh.
And she came over and talked with Mom and I. And these people own a gym in Spring Green. And I think they're going to have another one here.
Sure.
Her insurance pays for her, so she's not worried about the cost, but the cost is $49.
Oh.
We thought it was going to be $40.
What kind of insurance does Susie have?
I don't know, but I want to talk to her about that.
Yeah, I'd like to get her
Yeah.
insurance.
So anyway, she's going to be working out there. They have a very nice place in Spring Green. They don't have a pool like the other place that she works out in Sauk.
Wow.
And this place in Mazo is not going to have a pool. But I got that information from her because we used to work out together, and she always comes and sees us when Arena plays Mazo. And so I got the inside scoop because she talks to the gym, the Shem guy there.
Not
So
to
that's
confuse
guess who
Jim.
I saw. I got one more. Anybody else have a guess who I saw before I go on?
Nope.
Really? You guys live in Mazomania and work and play here? You
Mayor?
Working like a dog.
Mayor of
You saw
Mazo?
You saw the mayor?
No, you were telling
No,
us to
I mean,
guess.
we saw Scott Johannick. We
Yeah.
saw Michelle.
Well, Scott-
we also saw Steve.
Olson?
Yep.
Yeah.
We also saw Gary
Harrop.
Harrop.
Donnie
Steve
Reeve.
Olson has some relatives visiting.
Oh, really?
We won't tell
He wants to
anymore.
go and say hi. Go and say hi to his family.
They're already
We
gone.
appreciate that. Yeah.
That's one thing nice about having a weekly podcast is the people
It's already
that we
passed,
talk
yeah.
about, they don't get bothered. No, I saw Scott Johannick down at the 1855. This morning, we're recording this on Friday previous when it comes out. And he's a business consultant. He was heading over to Milwaukee to have a big business meeting with a big client that he had. Then he was going to play golf with another.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up here.
Was he taking his Harley?
And no. And Hud and I we hang out with Scott every once in a while. I mean, he lets us hang out with him. And he was heading out. And so if you ever need business consulting, boom, Scott Johansson.
Scotty J.
I'm
Just
asking
ask for
about-
a loaded Scotty.
I'm asking him to teach you about bocce ball, but you definitely.
No, not bocce ball. Bags.
Yeah.
Cornholes.
Don't ever play him in what's that?
Cornholes.
No. Sorry, something else.
Pickleball?
I made the mistake of playing him in foosball.
Oh.
He's very good at foosball.
Okay.
Like I didn't even know you could do certain things that he was doing with
Cheat
foosball.
codes somehow.
Just like he was
I
passing
think
the
of the universe that he's outside of with foosball.
he dominated me. I didn't score.
Well,
I didn't
that's
score 1 point.
You haven't played for a long time.
He didn't score.
Yeah,
Easters.
I mean, I didn't really care either. But the fact is he was passing it and stuff like that. Like it's like wow.
You're just shooting.
I was just trying to get it.
From the goal or something.
I was trying to shoot from wherever I could, try to get it to the closest to the goal and then score.
Was he using yours?
What?
Was he using your handles?
No,
Was he
I was unfortunately. Well,
He does have a long
probably
reach.
would have done better if he did that.
Was he holding on to your when you you
No,
couldn't move?
No,
This is
no.
gonna make-
I was
Trying to figure out how he
I was
was.
not good, but he was good.
Okay.
Go and play him sometime.
I'm not
and
saying he's
see
not
how
good.
Where do they
I
have
just-
a foosball table?
It was in the back of the
Oh, in the parking
so
lot.
base
the,
camp?
the Iron Hop Tap House in the
Yeah.
back. They've got a TV and they've got a foosball table.
Wow.
And we played foosball, and I didn't score. So
All right.
That's like you didn't play.
anyway, well, it would have been better if I didn't.
Back to Mazomania site-wise, as we've been talking to you about the fact that now we're somewhat chroniclers of Mazomania and such, I'm keeping an eye on the 3 major construction areas in Mazo. And so the first one we're going to look at, Joe Bobby, is the 7-plex. That's, I think, to the far left there. This is where we're at. Let's see if we can get that large
picture.
Yeah. See, you can see all of those big mounds, if you're following. Those are all down now. And
Not
they've
these
got the
mounds,
basement
these.
poured. You can see right down there way down to the left, and just come straight down, right just up here a little, Hudson. Keep going, right to there. See, they're going to have, those are going to be daylight windows, see?
Window wells.
Yeah, window wells. Yeah, for the basement. And so that's what's going on there. We had some rain, so they didn't work a couple of days, but they're staying right busy. Those guys are working in hot weather.
Today
Hot
was
weather.
stuffy.
Yeah. And so that's on Emily and Reeve Road. So that's the 7-plex we're keeping an eye on. We'll keep you updated and informed.
Our valley
Next,
is so
please. Let's go to the, Wick.
Perfect.
Look at that grass.
Now, look at that, right? See right there? That's where we took a picture just last week, and it was still kind of brownish.
We've
Look
got
at how
nice
and-
rain.
Yeah, look at how nice and green it is. And look at how, now, there's going to come a day where you're going to walk by there, like I said, and you're going to tell your sons and your grandsons, you're going to say, there was a parking lot right here, and it extended all the way here, and they'll say, Dad or Grandpa, why do they have that one hole in the fence there where they have a door opening there? And I said, well, and when this was built, this was a long parking lot, and the workers used to come here, and they'd go down to their respective areas and work for Wick. That's what you'll tell them.
And Dad,
they'll be amazed.
What
at
was
the
going
fact
on with your phone here? Where there was what is this here? This
log
gray
finger.
area.
What is that?
That looks like
Looks
a log
like a
finger.
log
Oh
finger.
yeah, my one of my log fingers, Mike. Let's go to the next
Your finger
one.
took a selfie with it.
Let's go to the next one. Nope. Back. Fault.
No, go back. Go to the next.
That's all there is.
It's only
No, there should be 4.
Here it is. You didn't.
I just said 3.
No, here it
There
is.
it
This
is,
is from a
Dad.
different angle.
Yeah, different angle. See, so that's
Industrial.
that's farther
Wow,
away,
that's-
just so you can see how
that gives us a
that's
real
all
nice view.
blending in so nicely.
You know what I really like about this one? Your finger's not in it.
And once again, if you go all the way to the top there, all the way to the west, sorry, there's that red building. No, Joe, way over there. Point, Jonathan.
West.
Go back
right
to the,
there.
go back to
That's
the
the
other
new
one.
fitness
Go back to
center.
the other one. It's
Right-
closer.
right
See,
here.
we're all about Mazomania businesses.
Go
We're
back to
talking
the
about
other
Wick,
one.
but we're highlighting
No,
another
go
business.
Back to the other one.
There.
Joe.
That's
He's
right
doing this on
there.
purpose now.
Yes, I know he is. He's taking it out on us.
Joseph. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
Point to it now,
Zooming
John.
in.
That's the IT building for WIC, but now
Not this. This is a sign, and this
Right.
is a finger.
And it's-
this is a thumb, actually.
and it's going to be the new fitness center, at least the bottom part. I think the top part still is going
Right
to
here.
be like,
Roof, probably.
well, the top, the second floor is going to be office space.
Yeah, and I think this room right here is going to be something.
I think that's where Wesley
Well,
works.
I think that's where Bomb's gonna get a.
Yeah. And this room's probably going to be a place something happens.
That's great. All right. Enough, Joe.
That's where Scott Johannick's going to have his new business consulting.
That's where Hudson's going to have his foosball
Okay,
team.
and to the last one, which is just a picture of
There you go.
Now that, if you've been following us, that hasn't changed in a week, and there's whispers, like what's happening, Mazo. There are whispers going on. What's going on? They haven't done any work there. Somebody said, hey, you know, they didn't get an easement. They can't get an easement to get in there, and the Highway 14 isn't going to let them come out, so they don't have any way to get there. They aren't going to have a driveway in, an entrance. Other person said, no, this is all a family that owns this, and they happen to all be on vacation.
Family
all
Dollar.
these different things are throwing out. It's a mysterious time right now, so we don't know what's going on, but that's where the Family Dollar is supposed to be going, and there's just rumors out there swirling. And I'm just telling you, I'm not coming, as I always do, I'm not coming here with any kind of opinion. I'm just giving you
Laying
the
out the
facts.
facts.
We're just reporting the news.
We
as
have
hear.
heard that yeah. I mean, we did hear that information. We shared it that 14's not going to grant them access
Yeah.
to an easement.
No, it's not going to be easy.
Supposedly, that was the fact that they didn't think about that. That seems really hard to imagine.
Yeah.
It seems really hard to imagine. But again, we're not giving our opinion.
was no
we're just
business
stating
there.
facts.
Or there was, yeah, I mean, there was just trees.
Yeah.
How was the
They
highway
tell
supposed to
business
know?
to get their business
The
done.
highway
Yeah.
don't.
So that's our
Need you
update
here.
on the 3 major construction areas in Mazomania.
Well,
And
it would kind of be interesting if all of a sudden
They
they
couldn't
just
do
packed
anything.
up
Yeah.
and they just left it.
yeah.
It'd be kind of weird.
That'd be fun to
I mean,
play in
there'd
the
be-
rain in.
There'd
Got
be
all muddy.
nothing. There would be nothing you
That'd be
could
fun.
build there, because if you can't access it by Highway 14, where are you going to access it?
How
I mean,
about
if
other-
nobody's going to give you an
How
easement,
another 8? I want an 8-plex.
no, you can't access it. I mean, you'd have to. They couldn't have cars.
Yeah,
No,
they'd
you
have
just
to
park-
park
That's
them.
what they make you do.
just
They
park
They'd have
here
to
and
park
have
them
cars.
on Emily or on Reeve. And
Or no,
then
you could. Everybody
walk
has
over
to.
there.
Everybody that goes there has to own a bike.
No, or
Because then you can get in the bike lane, and then you can get off.
or whatever it is. They have to go drive around in that.
I suppose.
Or just start.
Well,
Whoever
friends.
lives there drives bus for the bus barn.
True.
Yeah, they just walk across there.
Yes.
So that's our update on
Problem
the
solved.
construction.
All right, great. All right, is that it for Mazomania Sideways? Now we're on to the adventures with Roy from Elroy. Where is he, Roy? Where is he?
Roy's been walking these streets so long, howling the same old song. Roy knows every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Mazo, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice Roys get washed away like the snow in the rain. There's been a load of compromising on the road to Roy's horizon, but Roy's gonna be where the lights are shining on him, like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in a Gary Kosky rodeo, like a rhinestone cowboy, getting cards and letters from people Roy don't even know, and golfers coming over the phone.
I don't. Did you take a picture of his mess in the house, or
Nope. That was. I didn't do that.
that was
I didn't do
self-inflicted
that.
by us? But he 2 nights ago got into some packing
Material.
material, and it was all over the living room. Like, it really isn't his fault. I mean, it's his, whatever. He shouldn't have been doing it, but it was right there for him. And
He's just a dog.
He's just a dog, so.
That's what dogs do.
In general,
Somebody said let him eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In general, he does a pretty good job of just playing with his toys. You know, like we left him for probably 2.5 hours, and he didn't rip up like Kobe. We'd leave him sometimes in the living room, and he'd eat up the arms of the sofa, or he'd eat up furniture.
He'd have a pillow in his mouth when he'd come and he'd put his head down like, oh, I've been bad.
Yeah, he was still doing it. In the act. But Roy doesn't do that. He just plays with his toys.
You got to tell the story about the apple that I gave him, a piece of my apple. Go ahead.
Well, Hudson gave him a piece of apple, and he was supposed to be laying down on a towel. But he doesn't like to lay down on a towel when he eats things. He wants to. So he got up.
The way he wants to do
he
it.
got up, looked at us, had it in his mouth, but his mouth was shut. He wasn't chewing on it at all. He walked out to the kitchen. This was in the living room. Walked out to the kitchen, came back, and watched us like, you guys still watching me? Seriously. I've never seen a dog do this. Walked around the chair, walked out in the kitchen again, did the same thing, came back out, and then laid down somewhere else, and then started chewing on it.
I called him into it. He didn't like chew on it all. He had his mouth closed so it looked like he didn't have anything in it.
He was faking
And I
us
called
out.
him out and I said, "Come in here." I said, "Lay down." And I said, "You eat." And then he started chewing it. It was about that big apple. Part of an apple.
The other thing is we've when I've had dogs, I've always disciplined them with like a rolled up newspaper or something. Depending on what size dog it was, maybe I'd put a little athletic tape on and just give them a little swat. Sometimes a little bit more than a little swat. And you know, just to get them to obey and to know their place. Well, I've never, ever spanked him with anything, but I'll roll up a little like sheet of paper, 5x7 sheet of paper, and I'll just tap it. And he'll act like he's totally submissive. So now I've gone to a rolled up 3x5 card.
He goes like
I just
this,
tap it on his hand, and
the sound of it. Yeah,
he loves to obey, is what he does. Is I think that's what I think. He's very smart, and loves to obey.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're going to just be throwing some cold water on him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good discipline.
Yeah. All right. And there it is. There's our story time with Roy. We're going to move on to our interview with Jim Schroeder from the Mesomaney Music Conservancy, and they're celebrating 25 years, so Jim's going to tell us about that.
Not the Music Conservancy.
Oh, staph infection?
25th of
radio?
the Iron Horse
Cornet
Band.
My
Iron
apologies.
Horse Cornet Band.
Were you in the interview?
I was
Well,
in the
Hudson's
interview.
got a
You're
lot
right.
going
on his
on.
plate.
He's trying to run this whole show and keep us in order.
So we're going to do that now, and we'll be back then with Name That Country. Hey everybody, it's Hudson here and my friend Jake. He's got a sturgeon. We're fishing the river, and you are watching the original Father-Son voiceover podcast.
Hi, I'm Jim Schroeder, and I wear old T-shirts.
I thought maybe Wix or
Well, we
or
do that
Handlebar.
sometimes with our podcast. We'll do what I call reverse sponsors. People that don't know that they're sponsors of the program. They're not paying us any money. We're just advertising for them.
Yeah, that's the way that it is. I like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Reverse sponsor, we call it.
I didn't know that in the business that's what they called it.
They don't. I made
He
it
made
up.
it up. Yeah, I was going to say even
You
better.
could have taken me by a long time.
Oh, boy.
Jim goes around and tells everybody, did you know reverse sponsors were...
Go ahead.
All right. Well, we've got Jim Schroeder here, and he's a regular guest. He comes and represents the Mesomaney Music Conservancy, Staph Infection, the Cornet Band, which is what we want to talk. It's called the Iron Horse
Cornet
Band, not community, just Iron Horse Cornet Band.
Right. The original name on our paperwork for the
Lost a light.
in order to
Go ahead and fiddle with it if you
No, I think it's just been Go ahead.
Has it
Sorry.
been? Okay.
It's been
Fiddling around. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just be in the dark here, which is what we are typically. Everybody will be able to
I'll be shaded
hear
this
you.
way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. The original paperwork up for the band was?
Yeah, when we filled out our nonprofit status, it was called the Iron Horse Cornet Band and Light Opera Company. Okay.
Light opera. And do you have a backstory on that? Is there
Well, one of the design's original thoughts of this band would be that we would perform shows that would be more than just music concerts. There may be a short skit
acting and stuff
about
along
a
with it?
song
Okay.
or several of them during the show. I want to think it was the summer of 1999. I want to think we did a show down at the Mazamani Gym, and it was it really incorporated a lot. We had the band, but then we had guest performers. Some of the band broke off into different sections and did we had a barbershop quartet.
Oh, okay.
Some of us got together to sing barbershop. There was a Lennon Sisters skit with some of the female singers. So I think that's where the Light Opera Company came in.
Okay.
But soon after that, we just decided to be a community band.
Okay.
And so now what we do is we have a show coming up on 31st of July at the Milestone Senior Living Center in Cross Plains. And then our final show for the year will be on the 29th of August at Lake Marion.
But this is a celebration year, right? Because this is your 25th anniversary year.
25th year,
Okay.
right. We played a couple more gigs this summer. We played like 6. This will be 6.
You did.
So
Okay.
that's about all we like to play. If you figure 2 per month, because we don't rehearse in the summer. We usually rehearse until around the 1st of June.
Yeah.
And then we usually have 2 in June and 2 in July and then 2 in August. It doesn't quite work out that way every year. But this year it worked out pretty close to that.
So you talked about the name, the incorporated name, and how that's changed. Obviously, what are some other things about the history that you remember? How it got started, why it got started. Maybe some founding members. Anything you want to, whatever you don't want to say, whatever you want to say.
Oh, sure.
If there's something that's kind of historical about it, just because we're celebrating the 25th, and this is about the band. So
that would have put me about 42 years old, Todd. And you got that to look forward to, I know. Turning 42.
The year 42. Yeah.
That's way back.
Am I closer to 42 than you are?
Probably, yeah.
15 years.
I'm very close to Jim's age.
Well, I always tell them I'm closer to 70 than I am 60.
Yes, you are.
That's about. But anyway, the band started. I was teaching 5th grade at the time, and was inspired by, different communities having bands. Even on Mayberry RFD, they had a community band.
You bet they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know this. We know the stories well.
Don't want to model it too closely after that.
So I get to think, why doesn't this area have a band? Black Earth doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Sauk Prairie doesn't have one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mazo, Mount Horeb had one.
They did. Okay.
But in this area, Cross Plains didn't have one. So it had been a desire of mine to start one. I mean, because I had played in high school like many of us had and hadn't played since. But one of the other inspirations were, I recall before 98, seeing your family perform at the Memorial Day service.
Yeah.
And was really inspired to think that this is the kind of thing that community bands do, is that they play for community celebrations like Memorial Day, 4th of July, any kind of community-wide celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was teaching at the time, 5th grade, down in Meso School, and one of my parents was a fellow by the name of Jim Jordan. And Jim Jordan worked for the university bands. And during parent conference, I talked with him about to see if he had an interest, because I don't know a thing about directing a band.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to play drums.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know how to organize.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him if he took care of the music part, I'd take care of the organizational part. And he agreed to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so put out, first thing you got to decide what night we're going to have practice. And at the time, Mondays were really good to have practice because the school didn't have a lot of things going on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And so we reserved the band room because this was 98, so the new middle school was built. So it was a fairly new band room, and 7:15 we're going to practice on. So you never know who's going to show up, the first time. And I think we had like 15 people show up.
15
people. And a couple drummers, couple trumpets, just kind of a spattering. Like most, you would expect that the band would have because most bands have the instrumentation necessary to play. And so what we had, we got these little music books of Christmas songs. and we were just looking for music, and the band director at the high school at the time might have been, I don't remember his name, but he allowed us to get some music from him because we didn't have any music. Jim had some access to music from the UW. And our first show was that Christmas. We played for something down at the community building, and it was sort of like the Mayberry RFD band. Yeah. We didn't have a lot of parts, but word got out, and and the next time at practice we might have had 18. And then we might have had 20. It just kept growing and growing as people heard about it.
And you had probably 15 drummers, right? 15 drummers. And
that's the section we could always use more.
Really? Okay.
As you know, these parts, some of these concert music pieces, they'll have percussion 1, 2, 3, 4.
Auxiliary, they've got a lot of different
instruments. Every one of those
yeah.
parts has 3 instruments. So you're playing 3 different instruments per song.
Yeah.
And Nick kind of gets frustrated. Our director, Nick Dunkel, fine fella he is. He's really been a treasure to our band. But he'll get frustrated because we're trying to find the instruments that we have to play for this particular song. Unlike a trombone player, all they got to do is turn the page, where we've got to pick different things up. But we're getting better after 25 years.
Just think how good the next 25 will be.
Oh, man. I hope I'm still around.
Yeah.
That would be a real thrill to be around at 92. Yeah, that would be or no, 92, I don't know. No, it must be 98.
98.
Yeah, 98
Yeah.
would be.
So Jim Jordan was there for how many years? A few years, and then Nick took over?
Yep, for about a year and a half. And then he, I think he retired from the university system and moved to Michigan.
Yeah.
And so at the time, our director, Nick Dunkel, was playing trumpet for us because he's an amazing trumpet player. He's in the Wisconsin Polka Hall of Fame.
He is?
Yeah, because he plays with polka bands throughout the state.
Didn't know that.
So we asked him if he'd direct for us, and he said sure he would, because he's a former high school band director in Iowa. And it's kind of interesting that we've had several band directors in our band. Right now we have 3 band directors, and hope to hope more people will come, because we can always have more parts. We're always promoting for new members.
Yeah,
we are, and this last year we picked up 2 students from the River Valley area. One of the students' mom played the flute, and her daughter played flute in the River Valley band, and her best friend wanted to play too. So our flute, now we have 6 flutes. Now think of a band that has 6 flutes. That's a lot of flutes. I can even hear them sometimes above the din of the percussion.
So what do you had 15 at the first practice. Is that the smallest the band has ever been?
Yes.
And now what would be, I know it kind of fluctuates because, of course, it's all volunteer and such. How many would be a typical piece band would you have now?
Probably about 35 will show up for a concert. Being a volunteer band with adults, they all have other things going on in their lives. They have vacations and things, and they're very good at telling me or telling their mates in the band
the next year over.
Right, that they're not going to be there, so they talk it over, make sure all the parts are covered. It's one of the things is I know, Hudson, you were in the percussion section. You know that one of the only classes you can be in high school where a freshman can be right next to a senior. And so you get to develop these relationships where because you laugh at the same things, you get frustrated at the same things, but mostly laughing. And it's same thing happens. I think of the movie Mr. Holland's Opus. It was about Richard Dreyfuss starred as Mr. Holland, and he high school band director, but he wrote this opus, and upon his retirement, they got a band back together and to play his music for him, and it was a great movie. But that's what it's about in band. You get these relationships, these friendships. How would I have gotten to know a lot of these people if it hadn't been for the band?
Well, it's a different type of, most of us were athletes. It's a different type of where you belong to something, you're shooting for a goal, you have your ups, you have your downs, you have your things to laugh about, cry about, there's victories and defeats.
In that even.
So it's kind of that way, even if you weren't an athlete, but it's your way to be part of kind of a family, part of an organization, all working toward the same goal.
Exactly right. And our goal is to perform for the public and hopefully be good enough or to get better. And even at my age, I'm still getting better. It's an interesting thing too. We have this other group that's formed within the band, and it's the hand chime choir that play, and we have 4 percussionists, 2 trombones, and a flute player. And have you ever seen hand bells?
Yes.
Well, those are too expensive and too big. So we have something called hand chimes where you use the same motion. But it just for different variety of music and a willingness of some of these members to put forth the practice on these type of instruments and produce some really nice music. And they invited me to be a part of it. It's worked out fairly good, if I remember which is right and which is left-handed. Because everybody has 2 or 3 chimes. I only get 2 because, like I said, that adds that gives an intermission to the rest of the band. when we play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a great time. We hope to have a percussion ensemble to play for the Christmas program, which is how many percussionists? I think there's like 13 parts. Think about that, Hudson.
You got two in this family. Drew was also a percussionist.
Yeah, are you still the president?
I'm the president for life.
You are, okay.
Yeah.
So you're the originator, the founder, and the president. What are some unusual, or I don't know if we want to say big, at least unusual venues that you've played in over the years? Because anytime you're in some sort of a musical thing, there's stories about venues, about difficult places to play. Maybe a couple of those before we move on to a few other questions.
Yeah, there have been a few. One of the things about a community band, you have to be kind of self-sufficient. So I always ask places if they have chairs, because we need chairs.
Sure.
The players bring their instrument and their stands. Music stands and their music. So they have three things to think about, right? You can't believe how many times I get asked, do I have an extra stand? Because of percussion, we have 6 stands. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because we're spread out.
Right.
And but the chairs are an important thing. So like when we play on the 31st or the 29th of August, we will take our own chairs. I have a trailer. I have like 40 chairs that I will strap in there and take them to the venue. I may have to take a tent along.
You're president and roadie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we'll load up one of them. I have 2 20 by 20 tents. Oh. That's another story, how I came into possession of those. But I'll take those along and set them up because we'll be playing in a parking lot. And if you know anything about playing outside, that music just goes.
No acoustics at all, really.
Nothing.
Huh? Yeah.
I may not be able to hear the trombones who are sitting in front of me because that music. So the roof really helps keep it in.
It does.
That's why these shelters are great places to play. You can hear everything. It's really great. So we had a bandmate who worked at Home Depot in Madison, and they were having some sort of customer appreciation day, and so we made arrangements. Thing was good. So we ended up playing. Again, I didn't go there previously to see where the manager thought. So he put us in the parking lot, and luckily I brought the tents with me in the chairs. But it was we looked at it as another place to play. Okay, and so that was one time. Then we used to play. We started around the same time as the Madison Mallards did. And knowing Steve Schmidt, the owner, I said, would you ever want a band to play? And so he said, sure. And so we got the arrangements, so we all show up. And we got this one little spot picked out for us, and we set up there. Think about this. We're probably 30 members, 30 chairs, bass drum, drum set, bells, chimes, well, not chimes, but bells and xylophones and tubas, and we really had a great time. But they also wanted us to go out onto the field to play the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh wow, that'd take a little bit of movement.
Yeah. So we did that somehow, and we really had a fun time doing that. That was because at that time we didn't have a lot of places to play, and to have one in front of 3,000 people.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing for us to have that opportunity. We used to play during Memorial Day after the program that was at the elementary school. The band would go out to the cemetery and play a song in the Catholic cemetery and then one in the Protestant, a different song. Okay, but we knew we had to do this. But again, we didn't sit for that. We were transporting everything. So I'm kind of built to lift and carry things. So my job was the bass drum to carry that over and back across the road. So those were some of the places we played where you generally wouldn't find live music.
Yeah,
but it was all part of it. We don't go to the cemetery anymore.
Okay,
because as what's happened, we've all gotten older, and it wasn't really adding much to the program.
Yeah.
After playing, 4 or 5 songs in the gym, then going out there. So one year we just decided we can't do that anymore.
Plus you have to try to navigate Highway 14, which is hard enough just in your tennis shoes, let alone with a bass drum or something like that.
Yeah. I used to hook, you know how bass drum is, Hudson. It's got the tuners on it. So I would hook one of the tuners on my belt. So that gave me a little bit of
leverage. Yeah.
I didn't play it, but I carried it. And but that was just part of
I
what
can't imagine marching with a concert bass drum rather than a marching bass drum. That's a little bit different.
Right.
That's how I got hooked into playing the tuba in 5th grade. The band director down there said, "You're a big boy and you got big lips, so I think you should play the tuba." That was my music, wrapped up into big boy, and so I carried the tuba. Yeah, and go ahead. Were you going to say something?
We've had some wonderful tuba players throughout the years, and one who what I'll remember, Nick recruited him because Nick had played in a lot of polka bands with him, and very good tuba player. But it was kind of interesting is that almost every song he always played the pickup note, as they do
in the polka.
In polkas. Yeah. So I mean, we weren't going to change that style, but it was just kind of funny to see the different kind of styles that were blending in. And he was a fine fella too. He was really a great person. Again, I would have never got to know that person, and it was really. We played one time at the community building, I remember, but in order to have space, I had to set up, we had to set up risers. And so we had to get them from Mazamani School, take them over to the community building. And these are not easy. The new ones are amazing. One person can take care of them, but we had to, it was all manual labor. And I remember the baritone player at the time moved his chair a little bit too far. He was in the back row, and he just went right over and didn't get hurt or anything. But
you keep playing?
Well, gotta keep playing.
I have 2 more questions for you, and then if you have something else you want to add. So there's you, founder, president, still in the band. Deb, I take it,
she retired a year ago.
She did, okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody?
And she was not an original member.
Okay. Is there anybody that's been there since the beginning besides you, or are you the only person that's been a 25-year vet?
No. There's, I want to say, it must be 5 years ago. Nick, who keeps track of these things.
Okay.
Got 20-year pins.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I want to think there was about 12
really? That's amazing. I would
there.
never have guessed that with just, moving and sickness and passing away and all these different things.
Families and children.
Yeah.
And, but I think it's because it's such a unique opportunity. Ben Hodson, our mutual friend, who's just a great person, he was one of the original members.
He was.
And when he got that night at band, he was telling us he hadn't played since he was 18 in high school. He hadn't played in 50 years. And he showed up, and he was with us for like 20 years.
What instrument did he play?
He was a cornet player.
Cornet player.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because I was going to say, I haven't played the tuba for 45 years, so don't expect me. But Ben just showed me up and said, you can still do it after 50 years.
Everybody says the same thing, because you did it for so long. In the age when you were real impressionable, that you sit down and all of a sudden it starts coming back to you. Now, not being a real instrument player, not a woodwind or brass.
I take offense to that. Not being a real instrument player.
That's just two percussionists speaking.
There's the last time Jim's on the podcast.
We have a role. And one of them is not to whine as much as everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it light.
Keep it light. And the tempo. So, but for those players, they have some physical needs that they have to have. Lip strength has to be there. And so, we get a lot of whining about, oh, my lips are sore. And why? We never whine. The percussionists never whine. Our hands don't get sore. We don't get tired.
No.
Just throw another song at us. We'll play it.
Yeah.
So, but, and the other thing is we take a break now. After our last show, our practice is like the middle of September, first practice, and we don't play a concert until around the first Saturday in December. Will be our next concert. So, or after the summer programs are finished. So, we have a chance. There's some that practice. I mean, there's many of them that practice at home. So they're in shape. But when we come back in September for practice, there's a little time, and Nick understands that too. He's been in several bands, so there's a week or two of getting your lips back in shape and telling old stories that everybody's heard before, but they still laugh at them.
So anything else as we wrap up the talk about the band and its 25th year? Anything else that comes to mind that you want to make sure you get in?
Well, we like I said, we're open to anybody coming and joining who's played an instrument before. We don't give lessons, and so sorry, you have to have a basic understanding of tempo and time and the instrument that you played, but just feel welcome, because there's very good people there who will help you get situated, get started. Will help you, show you fingerings if you've forgotten. And what it's so good to see is how people, after a year, they tell me how much fun they're having. And, that's what it's all about. I think I probably told this story before about how as we get older, our circle of friends gets smaller, just naturally. And by joining organizations like this, actually our circle of friends is staying the same, because we're meeting new friends. And band is a great way to do that, because I think band people just think different sometimes. They find things funny that no one else would find funny. So that's why
it's a culture. Because I played sports, and that's a culture. And then I was in the band, And then I did some acting, and that's kind of a culture. And so, yeah, it's just all, you find different things that are funny, interesting, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, and to have an activity for adults or for high school kids too.
Sure.
We're happy to take high school kids on. And so, yeah, it's been a great 25 years, and it seems like I have more fun each concert. Like the 4th of July one we did down at the park was probably the best I think we've sounded.
Good.
For, the whole year. And you could just feel the energy.
Yeah.
And then Nick says, we just got one more song. And you go, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
Already?
3 more on the list.
Yeah.
We could do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was getting dark.
Uh-huh.
And the lights. One thing I've got to do, jobs to do before we play someplace. I got to go change the light bulbs in some of these shelters.
Yes, right.
Because I don't think they've been cleaned or changed for years.
Yeah.
And so we do need light, of course. So thanks for keep letting me think about that, because I got to get that done.
Yeah, and also remember, don't forget website too.
Yeah.
In the next 25 years, you have to get an Iron Horse community or concert band.
Yeah.
Iron Horse
Cornet
Band.
Yeah.
And it's your 25th anniversary. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's a night. I believe that I had 2 readings that I did for the Cornet Band. One down at the shelter and one at Mazomania you guys invited me to do. So I've been glad to be a part of that.
Right.
Small part of it.
And we still talk about that too. And if we ever bring that back, we'll get a hold of you for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because Nick's got that music, and we talk about it periodically.
I'm on the will call.
Yeah.
But don't call us, Todd. We'll call
No.
you.
and I appreciate the chance to visit with you fellas, and spread the word about it. Because I think this area, and we didn't want to be the Mazomania, band, because they're from all over the area here. Plain, Spring Green, Mount Horeb, Sauk. So Iron Horse, reflection of Mazomania. But we're just it's a name that nobody knows where we're coming from, But the whole thing is that this whole area here, I think, should be very proud of the fact that they have a community band that performs and has fun and really is pretty good.
Yeah.
There's some great musicians, and then they let me play with them. But then again, I'm the president.
Being the president has its privileges.
You can't kick me out.
Exactly. Well, thanks, Jim.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you very
it.
much.
Yeah, thanks
You're
for
welcome.
coming by.
You're
and we'll
welcome.
keep talking about the band, because you'll have other events coming up, so we'll have you back about that.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. We'll get back to more of the original Father-Son voiceover podcast in just a moment, but we want to also take this moment to thank our reverse sponsors, Windflower Apiaries. They are our reverse sponsor for today, Windflower Apiaries. Windflower Apiaries is owned and operated by some of our guests.
Jet and Jerry Springstead.
You bet. You could call him Jet. His name is John, but his nickname is Jet.
Yeah.
And they own it. And I messaged Jerry just before the podcast started, and I wanted to know, do you still have honey for the winter? Because I know bees kind of, well, they don't hibernate, but I don't know if they give as much honey during the late fall and winter times. And they still do, she said. We harvested honey this fall, and they have it there on sale on Windflower Ridge right here in Mazomania. It's local honey. It's not pasteurized. This Christmas season, Windflower Apiaries have small, honey bears with scarves
Oh, wow.
around them, perfect for hostess gifts or stocking stuffers. There's a self-serve stand atop Windflower Ridge right here in Mazomanie, and you just need to let them know if you want quantities that are 2 quarts or gallon quantities, because some
Wow.
people like to, buy a lot of honey. And so just find their information out there on the internet. Just type in Windflower Apiaries, and you'll get information about John and Jet and
Jerry and Jet.
John and Jet. Well, John and Jet. No, that's
might.
just one person.
That's it is.
Yeah. Jerry and John.
Dr.
or
Jekyll and
Jerry
Mr. Hyde. There you go.
So, Windflower Apiary is our proud sponsor, our reverse sponsor of the original Father-Son voiceover podcast. Now back to more of the podcast.
Thanks to Jim Schroeder once again for being here. He's going to be here a lot, and so is, I think, at least some representative from
Chamber
and the Lions Club. So those will be monthly. That was last week. So now we're on to Name That Country.
So a little backstory. Joe's going to be looking up the pictures for this because I did a whole thing. Spent an hour on a PowerPoint like I usually do. And then all of a sudden there was an issue with the PowerPoint and I didn't have time in the day to make up another one. And it's one of those things where you just don't want to start over again. So we're going to go with him looking things up. We're not even going to guess. Not even going to have them guess because it's kind of impossible to do since I have the sheet.
Now I want to.
We'll just go through some fun facts. I've got 17, an odd number here.
Well, can we not? Do you not have like 4 states that we can try?
States?
Sorry, 4 countries.
Well, it's
like just name off 4 countries and we'll guess which one it is.
Okay.
Chile.
Chile.
Do you have any pictures?
Chile.
I don't have anything. That's the problem. I think I should just go into this.
Well, I'm just saying, can Joe do some pictures
Yeah, Joe can do some pictures
of the thing?
Of the country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh.
But he's wanting to guess.
Hey, Drew, were
Yeah,
you part of the
I wanna
Monday?
name that
Were you part of
country.
the Monday
It's
and
not
Tuesday?
give us
crazy?
the
Oh,
name.
well, you
It's
can
not
do
give us
a
the name
random
of the
guess, but
country
the
and-
problem is that he's going to have to
Can't
look it
guess.
up. He's going to have to look it up without you knowing.
It's
And he
not-
doesn't even know it yet.
This
so.
is name that country. It's not give us the name of the country and then give us
So,
fun facts.
That's not going to work.
Okay.
So the name of the country is Palau. Palau. P-A-L-A-U.
Is that where the Palau was
It's over in
invented?
It's over by Indonesia.
How is it?
The capital city is, now bear with me here because it's spelled N-G-E-R-U-L-M-U-D, Nagur al Mud. Nagur al Mud is how it's supposed to be
Nailed it.
pronounced. That's the capital city. There are, the climate is tropical, as you would guess,
Isn't that beautiful?
with an annual mean temperature of 83 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, wow.
An average humidity of 82%.
Humid.
Yep. Rainfall can occur throughout the year, but most frequently between July and October. I believe there's 6 islands that makes up Palau.
Would you be afraid to live out in that much
Talk about
water?
being the mercy of.
Oh, it's an archipelago.
Would you be afraid to live in that big? That's in
Oh,
the.
yeah.
What, is that in the Pacific Ocean or no?
Pacific. Yep.
Yep.
Is it the Pacific
Indonesia
Ocean?
by Indonesia.
Okay, that. What's off to the left there?
Oh, Davao.
Is that Australia or what?
I think it's Indonesia.
Well, if you
off
scroll
the
out
left.
there,
Oh, that's Indonesia.
I think
Is
so.
it the
That's Davao.
just scroll out there, Chopper.
Philippines?
Oh,
Oh, Philippines. Okay.
Oh, that's scary to me.
There's Guam.
Okay. So I was right, and I didn't look at it.
That's
There.
famous.
Palau.
Sweet Caroline Islands. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Huge.
Palau is an island nation. I was saying that in Oceania, consisting of 6 island groups totaling over 300 islands altogether. So it's not
Internet
just
said 500.
okay.
I was going to say that's what I was thinking too.
So Mon can throw up that
Disclaimer.
disclaimer.
Well, who
'cause
knows?
there
Maybe
may
they
be
gained a
some
couple.
discrepancies
and
here.
Who knows? Depending on,
Right.
I've done that too, where you just have no idea what you're looking at.
By population, Palau is the world's third smallest sovereign country after Tuvalu and Nauru. We've done Nauru before.
Yeah.
Technically,
Chile.
the Vatican City is also smaller, but it's not a UN member state. So, meaning Vatican isn't. So that's third.
Just take it down for now.
I'm gonna have more questions or more of these here pictures here in just a minute. So, it is thought that the first inhabitants of Palau arrived from present-day Indonesia around 2500 BC. The early Palauans developed complex social systems and practiced fishing and farming. In 1783, English captain Henry Wilson was shipwrecked on a reef on one of Palau's islands, becoming the first European to visit. I don't know if he wanted to visit or not. Since
Joe,
he was
can't you make
shipwrecked.
those larger so that people can enjoy those? Because they're so small when people see them.
I know, that's why it's nice having
I've heard from some feedback that people like them when they're a little smaller.
Independent.
Off the
Can't you get them
record.
bigger?
I'm gonna tell you what to look up here. So
Okay,
you can
my bad.
Hey, Dad.
I got
Dad,
it.
the script's good. Stick with the script.
For over
Dad,
200
that wasn't
years,
part of the
Palau
Monday
was
creative.
controlled by foreign influences, including Spain, Britain, Germany, Japan, and the U.S.
Of course.
During the Second World War, parts of Palau were occupied by Japan. U.S. forces liberated the islands during the Battle of Palaio in 1944, which resulted in a higher death toll than any other amphibious assault in U.S. military history.
Joe,
There's something you'd like to share with the rest of the class,
I'd just
Dad?
like you to get a see if you can get a Malaysian
In 1994,
pronunciation of Palau. See how
Palau.
close we are.
I,
You keep going. I just want him to check to see what the pronunciation is.
that's how I did.
I was thinking the Malaysian.
Oh,
Malaysian?
Yeah. So if you say
Malaysian.
Put-
Why would you say Malaysian? It's not Palauian. Is the language?
Yeah, Palauanese, Dad.
say native.
Currently
Let's just hear what it sounds like here.
Maybe.
I don't really understand what we're doing here.
I just want to see how close you were to
Oh,
somebody who
no.
knows how to say it.
Dad, look what you've
That's
done.
okay. Forget it.
Try this
There it
person
is.
here.
Let's try it, Joe, right here. Let's try this person. No. That's practicing
Practice.
it. That we have to have a microphone to do that.
So please practice.
It's-
Perfect.
yeah, that sounds right.
That's a.
No.
It's got a X
Oh,
in.
perfect. There we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Sing a song.
Here we go. Oh,
That's because you hit practice.
Yeah.
Allow microphone.
Palau.
That's an
Palau.
American saying it.
Palau.
Anyway, who cares?
Palau.
Who cares?
That was fun.
I do. I'm gonna look it up on my phone.
In 1994, Palau finally gained complete independence. It would continue to receive financial aid from the U.S., and in return, the U.S. could continue to operate military bases in Palau. That's important because it was close to some of those places, and it served as a place for the
We're gonna
military.
get in trouble.
That's okay. All right, Joe.
Yep.
Go to the Palau Jellyfish Lake.
Ooh.
We saw that. That was one of the little pictures that were.
Palau is home to Jellyfish Lake, a landlocked marine lake filled with 5 million non-stinging transparent jellyfish that swim
Non-stinging.
en masse to follow the path of the sun.
Weird.
Oh my.
No. There you go. Well,
Click
there you
one.
go. One of those where the
Yeah, where maybe the jellyfish are in it.
Yep.
Yeah. There
Yep.
we go.
Internet is not the greatest up here.
Yeah, that's true.
I was trying to tell Hudson about that, but he said, "Don't worry about it."
so this is why we have a
Damon
PowerPoint.
Yeah, maybe Damon can go
'cause
ahead
it's
and
just
toss
easier
that
to
up
do that.
there.
All right.
This is slow. There we go. There's something for
Oh,
us.
that's a bunch.
Yeah,
And they said
5
non-stinging.
million. Yep.
That's good.
Palau is known as the underwater Sergenti for its incredible scuba diving site. Sites include beautiful seascapes, shipwrecks, and diverse marine life.
Well, who was trying to? Whatever.
Captain Williamson.
The world's first shark sanctuary was created in Palau in 2009. The country banned all commercial shark fishing in its waters to combat the growth of shark fishing. Then you can go to Rock Islands in Palau. One of Palau's most famous landmarks in the country's only World Heritage Site is the Rock Islands. The site is made of hundreds of uninhabited limestone islands amid turquoise lagoons surrounded by coral reef. Many of the islands display unique mushroom-like shapes. Oh, I think that's in the second one. My bad. We'll do that one next. I'll show you but that's kind of what the mushroom shapes look like. But if you go to Rock Island, is that what it looks? Oh yeah, it is. That's what it is. My bad.
Yeah, it looks like Rock Island.
Yep. Rock Island.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the what do they call those things? Those little islands of mangroves in Florida. When you just not the same because they're not rocks. But
What do you call those islands of mangroves? What do you call those?
Mangrove Island.
Okay.
Now, Joe, you can look up the flag of Palau.
Well, we got to look at the rocks first.
Okay.
Can people see those? Okay, good enough.
Rock Island. Flag of Palau.
Totally lost Dad to prove a point.
We try not to.
I'm not trying to
phones
prove a
out
point.
on
I'm
here,
just
but
trying
Dad's
to
breaking protocol.
All I'm trying to do is just figure out how.
I think Dad's
they would say
interfering
it.
with our internet too.
Very
I'm sure.
Probably true.
That's very basic.
Okay, Palau. Yeah, but it's a long thing here to explain it. Palau has a simple flag composed of a blue background with an off-center golden disc. The disc represents the moon, which has special meaning in Palauan culture. The full moon is traditionally considered the best time for fishing, planting, and other activities. The blue background in the flag is not, as might be assumed, a symbol of the Pacific Ocean. Instead, it relates to the final passage of the foreign administering authority from our land, a reference to the country's time as a United Nations trust territory.
What you got, Dad?
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
It
know.
almost looks like Mustangs colors.
And then go to the Milky Way
Not the yellow,
Cove
but the teal.
in Palau. The Milky Way Cove.
That's that guy. Hello, friends.
Oh. Palau.
More videos on how to pronounce more confusing words and names too.
It's that one French guy that.
So the big thing, get that, yeah, one right there. That's fine. So the big thing is the white sand. How clear that is. The Milky Way Cove we're looking at here, a cove located in the Rock Islands, is famous for the white mud found on its seabed. The mud is said to have healing and anti-aging properties and can be used in natural spa treatments. So that's nice.
There it is right there.
There, look at that. That's
That is
really
nice.
nice. I hope you can see that.
Yep.
It's the lighter color here.
Palau is one of just 22 countries not to have a military. As a former U.S. administered territory, Palau did not found an army after gaining independence. Instead, the USA is responsible for its defense. Seems like, from my research, little I have, that's a pretty important island for militarily for the U.S.
It's a military stronghold, huh?
So we're willing to do, help support them financially and even do other things for them. Obviously, fight for them if
To serve and protect
I don't know why you
Palau.
would fight for Palau, but it's
Hey, it's
they
America.
would, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe landing spots, just like
Wouldn't be
Guam was in the
Wouldn't be a
Philippines.
bad place to be stationed for a
Yeah.
while.
Then look up Easter Island of Micronesia, Micronesa. There you go.
Man, just drilling this right now. I misspelled one thing.
Easter Island.
Go to the images there, Chopper. Efforting.
West of Chile.
It's true.
That's close.
Anyway, I will fill the dead air here. That is not it. Those are not it at all. They do BAD. This is kind of a
Badlands.
yeah. No.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Are you?
That's bad.
Are you?
That's really, really
LCH AU. There we go. There it
Nailed it.
is. There it is. Okay.
well, kind of
So, known as the Easter Island of Micronesia, the Badarachau stone monoliths in Palau are a collection of
Let's hear all that. You
38
gotta say
stone
that.
monoliths, 28 of which had human features. The stones are dated to around 161 AD. Their purpose and origin is unexplained, but legends suggest gods placed them to support a men's meeting house. That's
They
the
come off
legend.
no stone either.
That's kind of what they think of the Easter Island type things too, like they're aliens or
Yeah,
something.
how to pronounce? Oh, that's
So just two more here,
Never
and
mind.
one's kind of a I don't know, goofy thing, and then the other one's just a fact here. But saltwater crocodiles are native to Palau. Saltwater
Really?
crocodiles have been called the animal most likely to eat a human, but attacks on people are rare in Palau.
They have crocodiles?
I guess.
He read that it made it sound like
Saltwater
attacks
crocs.
on people.
it's the wrong. It's Badrul Badur. That's not even the same.
Yeah, it's close.
It's not even the same word.
Lastly, Palau's only prison is also a gift shop. Good behavior inmates are authorized to carve storyboards, which is carved wood panels featuring Palauan legends. There it is. And tough. And sell them to the public. So kind of like license plates, right?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
We're sorry for the improvise.
well,
we
this-
don't have the normal thing. I'm not trying to
We
be.
flipped the thing around there, the
it's
printer,
okay.
and the white
We
page is not there.
reuse. We conserve.
Yes.
We reuse our paper.
And we didn't
like
put
I
it on the other
said,
side there. But
can
anyway,
you-
that's
can you get
kind of
that
a
Joe?
neat thing, I guess.
Hey, Joe.
They must not. I mean, they must not have much crime there because if you're turning your prison into a gift shop, there's probably not too many hardened criminals around there.
One thing.
We got to get it right. Though. We got to try and figure out the.
I don't think
The
it'll be
computer.
difficult.
Yeah.
It was probably user error because I've had
Wow.
5 out of 6 right, and this
Yeah.
time.
That's a pretty good batting average
Yeah.
if you had that.
But yeah, that's Palau, and hopefully next time when we do name
That
country.
we'll have a lot better
Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us
presentation
through
there.
that.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
You were fine.
I thought you nailed it.
Hey, just a quick update before we close things out.
do.
230 now.
Oh, okay.
5
We've
more.
gone up 5 more for Wendy Sherman on the Lions Club, on to
Chamber
Kelly
Chat.
Handel, 183.
Yeah.
Ooh,
See, I told
5
you.
more again.
Yeah,
Same
and then
5
we
people
go
probably.
with Jim Schroeder and
One
Music
50,
Conservancy.
What was he? 158. 163.
58.
160.
2 more.
But yeah, so thanks again for Jim showing up and giving us that good history. Founder, president of Iron Horse Cornet Band. So thanks for being part of our episode 68. Don't forget our sponsor, 1855 Coffee House. Stop down and see Michelle Van Shindig.
Don't ask her for 10% because not many people are doing it. Just ask her where the Danishes are.
Yeah.
That's
or
what
if
we
you
need.
want, you can get 10% off any food and beverage. Just say you watch those guys do that thing on the podcast. We're good to go.
But ask her where the Danishes are. So anyway, next week is 69. So I think we're gonna do yummy treats next week.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So everybody's been waiting for a long time.
What's the gentleman that
Weston
Knutson?
Knutson. So hopefully he's still hanging around somewhere.
Poor
He's
guy's
not-
been
we
waiting
feel
for a long
bad,
time.
yeah.
He's been holding out, not going to Yummy Treats in order for us to
Tell him what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
Now they have drinks and everything. Are we going just with like?
I think we're just gonna go a taste test with
the drinks will fade.
Yeah, I
probably
just
at a
think
half
that's
an
gonna
hour.
be too much. Yeah. That's what our viewers are doing right now, slipping away from this. All right, we'll see you later. Take care.